Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News and an incredibly dramatic day yesterday in the Valorant world. XSET versus FaZe certainly threw up an awful lot of drama to sink our teeth into today. The internet cafe situation, the power goes out for FaZe. Were they going to get forfeited? The league then say they're not going to get forfeited, but FaZe thought they were. Some drama about that on the timeline, and then a lot of people roasting FaZe Clan as an organisation and saying they won't even make it into the partnership league based on this, well, absolute disaster class of a situation that they've, put their players into. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Really up to the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that one. Firstly, wanted to mention this real quick from TenZ. Phoenix buff. We looked at yesterday the possibility of a buff to his flashes, effectively deploying them quicker. They have a bit more effect, this type of stuff. We'll see if any of that comes out or whether Phoenix can actually be viable with those small changes that may be coming relatively soon. Now, I wanted to mention this as well because Tarek certainly had some thoughts here in a few minutes time on the Japanese region and the absolute, well, what a show they put on here for their kind of regional finale. Like, this is the venue. There was, I think for the kind of semi-finals or whatever, there's like 12,000 people there. This is pretty much a packed crowd, 20k people in this venue. The production quality was epic. I'll share a clip in a few minutes time here, really, after the whole FaZe situation, when Tarek's comparing what's going on in North America and the online stuff, playing from internet cafes, to what's happening out there in Japan and how much they're killing the production sides. Just honestly phenomenal stuff. And of course, the winner of this, we shall see right about now, which was Northampton, would you believe? So Zeta Division, despite taking down Northampton 2-0 in the upper final yesterday, they then rematched them in the grand final to lose 3-1. Phenomenal series. There was some crazy Valorant on display, but fair play. So Northampton are the team from the Japanese region that will be coming through to Masters Copenhagen. Zeta will not be there. And it seemed like they turned up massively in front of the crowd, and Zeta just couldn't quite put it together when the pressure was seriously on. But impressive work from those guys. Awesome to see more than one team in that region dominating, because in the Korean region, for example, DRX seem to be kind of walking away with things once again. We'll see here in a couple of minutes time. But yeah, first of all, let's talk the European region. So much going on, of course, in the playoffs all across the board right now. FPX played Guild last night to, make the grand finals. All of these three teams are qualified. I thought FPX would win this one. This team is honestly so good, it's crazy. But yeah, they dominated this series. A 3-0 for FPX over Guild, and they advanced to the grand finals today to play Fnatic to see who will win their region. But of course, all of these three teams already qualified for Masters. But yeah, hopefully FPX will actually be able to go this time and contend as they did before. But yeah, fair play. Guild making it in the first place was impressive from them, but FPX just too good on this series. Yeah, look at this. The performance across the board. Honestly, the slaying wasn't too far out of control given the situation, but 13-4, 13-11, 13-4 again. This was not close at the end of the day, and FPX will, of course, look to take down Fnatic as well. Let's talk the North American side then. So one game yesterday, a massive game, of course, one best of 5 to determine which team after, well, apart from OpTic, will go to Masters Copenhagen. XSET versus FaZe. Incredible series. Honestly, the first few maps at least were so entertaining here, right? There was so much going on. Some great plays from Dicey and all across the board. This was, you just knew early on in this series it was going to be a banger, right? It was 3-3 early on. Then it went 5-4, 4-5. BCJ comes through with some plays as well. XSET really was mentioned the other day by Wardell, right? He was talking when the whole drama was going down about North American players being brain dead. He said that OpTic are pretty much the only team that plays Valorant like it's Counter-Strike. None of the other teams actually play, play good Valorant at all. But the only other team he mentioned that plays anything like OpTic is none other than XSET, right? He said that, okay, OpTic are very good. XSET are kind of they also play good Valorant, but no one else really does. But FaZe, they have a different style, right? They're just going to play on pretty much pure firepower. Dicey and babybay and Superman, of course, turned up massively in their series to get them to top 3. But XSET, they've got talent all across the board. Cryo though, individually, this guy, man. Honestly, with FaZe theoretically is kind of a two-man show, and Cryo sometimes just does it all for this XSET roster, but it's not like the rest of the team don't turn up also as well. But anyway, FaZe end up taking the game 1. Close series. Poise just locks them down. Yeah, wasn't the best peaks there from the XSET guys, but eventually Dicey gets the kill with the Tour de Force, and that's job done for FaZe. They win the first map. It was certainly a close one, and game 2 was also very much close affair as well, but this time it goes XSET's way. Cryo turns up towards the ends. Yeah, this guy had so many plays this series. It's honestly incredible. He just forced them through this game 2, and then honestly kind of forced them through the game 3 as well. Tied up 1-1, obviously first to 5, and then we get this situation, right? So it's crazy scenes here at Icebox. 12-12, goes all the way to overtime. XSET managed to bring it back just to overtime on their final defensive rounds, and yeah, FaZe can't get it done, goes to overtime, and then Dicey goes massive. Some of the plays that are being made here in this overtime were just unbelievable. This is one of the craziest overtimes you're going to see. Dicey just absolutely sent this one, to be honest. But it goes, 13-13, 14-14, 15-14, and then 16-14 in the ends, where XSET managed to get the job done. But Cryo made some unbelievable plays in this final round. Look at this play from Dicey as well, going in, sending it for 2, and setting his team up there for success. So some baller plays across the board, but in the end, it's XSET that win that game 2, go up 2-1. one, and then right at the start of the ascent, the power then goes out. Now, this, of course, is a joke here from Valorant Dives as to exactly what is going on, but just to kind of set the scene that one round in, the power goes out. 4 of the players on the team lag out, with the exception, I believe, of Dicey, who was seemingly playing in a different location, right? So it's crazy scenes. You think of a team like 100 Thieves or some of these other squads, or NRG, like they had a boot camp going, or OpTic, for example, they're going to play pretty much in the same venue, like next to each other, playing in a LAN type setup. Now, FaZe seemingly don't have anything like this for the players, right? Which is kind of interesting, because a lot of the time, organizations, if they don't have one, they'll say, okay, complexity, can we borrow your facility, go there and stay there or whatever, like, you know, just play for a few days for all the matches, and then usually they'll come to some sort of arrangement where they can make that happen. But for whatever reason, FaZe were not playing in their own facility. They were effectively playing at a, well, what they described as an internet cafe. Now, I guess Dicey was somewhere else, which just goes to show that, like, FaZe, maybe from an organizational infrastructure perspective, have not given FaZe, well, the best, their players, the best possible opportunity here. So, as Poise says, power at the internet cafe is still outright. So something went wrong with the internet cafe. Like, the power just went off locally, and of course, they don't get internet rights. They all lagged out. And then the situation was, okay, well, hang on a second here. Like, if they don't get back in within a certain amount of minutes, are they going to get forfeited? Like, I wonder if there'd have been one series after, what would have happened here, right? Would it have been a forfeit situation that had come through? Because that was the theory at the time. Like, it took about an hour for them to get back into the game, and of course, they were getting messed around massively by this, right? And by the time it came to the 4th map, they weren't warmed up at all, as Poise is going to describe here in just a couple of seconds. But yeah, that's the thing, right? Billion-dollar organization, no facility for the Valorant team, right? So therefore, you get situations like this. And that does raise the question, really, about franchising next year. When Riot look at the franchise applications, they're not necessarily looking at how good the players are. They don't really care what the players are like, because the players are just going to go to the teams that they select to actually join the franchise league. They're looking at infrastructure, they're looking at commitment, they're looking at these other questions that, of course, well, also include, can you actually provide a facility for your team? Do you care enough? Do you have the resources to invest into Valorant? These type of questions that clearly FaZe on this one have failed massively, right? As Dicey says, if my team doesn't come back, I'll do the impossible 1v5 challenge, let me at them. But it turns out they actually tweeted this out, Poised as well, currently moving to a different facility. So I guess they went into a different internet cafe or whatever. At least there won't be a crowded monthly LAN being held with no AC, sweating down my back while trying to qualify for Copenhagen. So he deletes this one because he just wrote his own org, right? He said that, well, our org has us playing in this like LAN center or whatever it is, internet cafe as he described it, with some sort of lag going on in the background, no AC, so I'm just sweating, I'm sweating all the way down my back. It's like, what is going on with FaZe that they've made their players do this? I just don't understand it, to be perfectly honest. And then even Tarek comes out and says, you know what, FaZe, can we move them from Starbucks to a real facility? So I'll show a clip here from Tarek in a second on kind of some of his reaction to this and really comparing it to the Japanese side, but that's not really where this one ended, right? So anyway, babybay says, can't make up what's happened today, just crazy scenes from the FaZe camp. And then we get this tweet as well, which this to me is the tweet of the day. So Flyer says, we only get 10 minutes of tech, our power is out, and it's a possibility they forfeit us last map for Copenhagen. So he's saying that Valorant effectively, or the VCT, are saying that if you can't get back within your 10-minute tech pause that you're allowed, then we're going to forfeit you, right? Now, that's what Flyer said. It turns out that's actually not the case at all, but even the VCT themselves come back and say, that's not good. And it's like, well, hang on a second, aren't you the people that are meant to be dealing with this, right? And Flyer's like, no way, really? It's actually, I didn't understand it wasn't good, Mr. Rito, right? Like, you know, sort this one out. I just couldn't believe this, to be honest. Eventually, this stuff gets deleted. But that was just hilarious. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out the situation isn't good. But eventually, they say, okay, no, we're not going to forfeit you. We'll give you the time. Like even Asuna said, congrats to XSET for making it to Copenhagen. Unfortunate the FaZe had to be DQ'd. So he was kind of buying the idea that FaZe had to be DQ'd here, that they didn't have the time. And Valorant eventually come back and said, no one's DQ'd. Not yet, at least. Like, you know, at this moment in time, no one's DQ'd. And maybe they could have done it another day if they had to or whatever. But yeah, personally, I would find Peter for tweeting this, right? It's kind of funny. But eventually they say, look, you're not going to get DQ'd. It's okay. Well, you know, we can wait around for an hour or so that it took for them to actually get in a situation where they could play the game. And eventually they do get back into position. And then they finish out the series where XSET win what was, of course, always going to be a pretty comfortable map, especially because a lot of the players had to move around. Like they weren't warmed up at all. They had a completely different facility they had to play this final map of the series on. So XSET won this one pretty comfortably in the end. I do wonder if it could have been a different story, right? If there'd have been a different situation here. But yeah, FaZe really only have arguably their organization to blame for this situation. Of course, unlucky with the power. But I mean, yeah, still, it's not like FaZe as an organization have really covered themselves in glory in this situation. I will just share the Tarek clip real quick where he's kind of talking about the Japanese side and kind of the comparisons to North America and what FaZe had to deal with.
Everything's better. Everything is better, even the gameplay. They have cameras too, man. They have cameras. The quality is definitely better. There's no doubt. I'm sorry to say it, Priest, but the observing here is good, man. It's looking good, man. It's like
ESL level, but even better. Oh, camera went out. I jinxed it, bro. Oh, look at that. 3 seconds they get it fixed. 3 seconds, not more. They're dragging NA through the mud right now. Japan is taking over the stream. I mean, dude, it's a night and day difference here, bro. I mean, obviously, like, they're in an arena and everything, but how are they at this point? We got teams playing out of Starbucks cafes, 200 degrees, online, lagging their way through. These guys have a 20,000 people filled arena. How have we fallen off so hard?
So here we go, Cryocells, what a performance from him. 3-1 over FaZe. See you in Copenhagen, he says, and congrats to XSET, right? They certainly deserved it this time around. Break the 4th place curse and get all the way to 2nd or 1st. Who knows what they'll do against OpTic in the grand finals. Yeah, both of those teams through to Masters Copenhagen. As poised says, GG's and good luck. Playing on a completely new setup was really rough. The conditions we had today, you couldn't make this stuff up. Great run from us. We'll be back from the LCQ though, right? To effectively, again, throw some daggers, arguably the way of FaZe, being like the conditions we were dealt with here were just absolutely incredible. So, you know, fair play. They did well. They got top 3. I'm sure they're happy with that, right? And they're going to come for everyone's blood at the LCQ. Whether they can do that, who knows? But yeah, XSET and OpTic, those are the 2 teams that are going to make it all the way through to Masters Copenhagen. And fair play to Cryo. He had some incredible first blood stats that Will Mitre points out. And at the playoffs, he's playing better than he did in the group stages, right? Which just shows that this guy's out of control. These were the final stats, right? Cryo, he dropped 100 kills. I mean, look at the numbers right here, right? 100 kills, 103 kills for Cryo. The next highest is 72. Like, that's just absurd. The split goes 21 and 17, but they lose this one, of course. Then 13-10, 27 and 14. The icebox is really where he just demolished in that overtime. 35 and 22 on the chamber. Like, babybay didn't have the greatest time on the other time. Then the ascent after the bit of a delay. Like, I mean, yeah, this is an absolute bloodbath, to be honest, at the end of the day. But this is what it looks like, right? It's OpTic XSET. Like, look, I have to take OpTic again in the 3-1 in the grand finals. But fair play to XSET winning that crucial series. They're the team that goes to Masters Copenhagen alongside OpTic. This is what's going on in the Asia Pacific region. Both of these teams, PaperX and Xerxia, I believe, have qualified. PaperX are currently up in the series, I think 2-0. It might be over by the time you guys are watching this one. And then this is also the Korean region, DRX. I don't think they're going to lose a map here because I'm pretty sure they're up 1. I think they're up 2-0 as well. And I'm pretty sure it's first to 5 or first to 3. Sorry, not first to 5, best of 5. It's like, yeah, DRX are probably going to win this one again without losing a map. So they'll, of course, be in Masters Copenhagen as well. And these are the teams presently qualified, at least before some of those series end, right? So in EMEA, we've got the 3 teams. North America as well is now confirmed. APAC as well. Japan and North Eption as well. Probably DRX from Korea as it seems right now. And then we're going to have Loud Crew more than likely. And then, of course, from the last chance qualifier between the regions of Brazil and Latin America. But very much enjoyed your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button. Tells the YouTube gods it's a good video. And I was like, you should see it as well. And I grow the competitive Valorant community. Then, as always, take care of yourselves. And I'll see you next time.